Hello everybody, my name is MrGamingGuitarist, and I am here to review the series premiere of Riverdale. It is a new show on the CW. The series premiere just finished. I watched it live, and I'm here to let you guys know what you think about it, and if you want to see more reviews of the future Riverdale episodes, please let me know in the comments below. So, I cannot speak. I didn't know what to expect from this, because all I heard was that this is based on a comic book called Archie, and I thought that this was about Archie from the 40s, or I might be confusing that with Dilbert. I have no idea, but I think there was a classic comic book from, you know, the golden age of comics that was called Archie, but I think that this show is not based on that. But the real thing that drew me to wanting to watch this show is because Greg Berlanti, who is pretty much God when it comes to TV shows now, because he is the main producer, creator, the driving force between 4 of my favorite shows: The Flash, Supergirl, Arrow, and Legends of Tomorrow. And now this is his 5th show that he's involved with on the CW, and I think a few other producers from those DC shows are also producing this. So I thought, okay, if this is coming from the same guy, why don't I just try give this a shot? And I think it's good. But it feels weird for me to talk about a show like this specifically, because at first, you know, I thought that this was and please please excuse my greasy ass hair, please excuse it. And at first I thought that that this was a show that I would be writing off, because it felt like one of those I was about to say chick flick, but it's not a movie, it's a TV show. It felt like one of those shows made for teenage girls at first, like the CW, or I mean, fuck me, like the OC, or Gossip Girl, or what's that other one that just recently came back? You know, the one with Gilmore Girls. You know, I thought that this was going to be like that. Like, oh yeah, I normally don't really like to watch shows like that, so I don't know if this is going to be for me. But then, you know, it started to get a little bit interesting. I thought, you know what? Okay, I'm going to stick with this. And you know, I started to relate just a tiny bit to the main character Archie, because I mean, all right, full disclaimer, this show reminds me exactly why I do not miss school at all. Because, you know, there's all these walking cliches, like you've got the fucking bitch cheerleader, but her name's Cheryl, and then you've got like all these fucking jocks. And it's funny because there were some people that were like Cheryl and people like the jocks that I remember from high school. There were some people like that, but it wasn't to the extreme. And, you know, sometimes I feel like the cliches are going a bit too much, but it might be the purpose of the show. But either way, I find the characters enjoyable to watch. You know, I haven't found any bad performances. I think the actors are all doing great jobs. But my God, Cheryl is a fucking bitch. Like, it's hard to normally it's hard to find characters that are like that these days, because, you know, finding bitches that act like pure bitches in high school, I thought it was a cliche, but I haven't really watched a show with a big giant bitch in quite some time. I guess you might have called Joan in Mad Men season 1 at the pilot. You would have thought she was being a bitch to Peggy, but in the end, I started to like Joan a bit more the longer Mad Men went on. And speaking of Mad Men, I like the self-awareness that the show is. Like, they point out things like, isn't the gay best friend a cliche from 20 years ago? And then they say, well, and then who's the girl? Veronica is this one. How she says, well, isn't being the bitchy cheerleader captain also a cliche from that time period? I laughed at those. Those gave me a few chuckles. But yeah, and when I said I related to Archie, it's that Archie wants to be a guitar player, and I've dabbled back and forth. I mean, I called my channel and myself MrGamingGuitarist because I haven't really been playing the guitar too often, but I wrote an EP, which is called War of the Insides, which you can take a listen to on my YouTube channel. Self-promoting plug there. But I really like but of course, every show has a holy trinity, and we know that we've got holy trinities. Arrow, of course, you've got Oliver and Diggle and Felicity. That's your trinity. Flash has, of course, Barry, Cisco, and Caitlin, and the holy trinity for it's kind of hard to say who the holy trinity is for Legends of Tomorrow, but I know the main two is Sarah and Ray. So of course, Supergirl's Trinity is it's kind of hard to say, but I would have said it was Kara, Wynn, and James, but it feels more like it's Kara and Alex, and then you just flip back and forth between John and James and Wynn and Monel and Maggie. And anyways, I'm getting too ahead of myself with the analogies. But anyway, this show's Holy Trinity is definitely feels like it's I'm sorry, it's hard. I've never reviewed a series premiere before. This is so please bear with me. I apologize in advance for if this is going very shittily for you. There's Archie, Betty, and Veronica. So it's those three. And at first I thought Veronica was going to be another one of those that you see in like things with high school, like movies and TV shows with high school. I thought, oh, she's going to be the stereotypical rich bitch. But no, she's not that at all. I love how they made that twist, because at first it felt like, she was going to be this Veronica at first felt like this girl that was there to start some fuck shit. And yes, I just use the term fuck shit because I think anytime someone says the word fuck shit, I think it's fucking hilarious, and I think it applies here. I thought that she was there she was going there to try and steal Archie from Betty. But turns out, no, it's not the case. She actually likes Betty and all this stuff. And so I thought that they were going to be enemies, but it turns out, no, they're going to be friends. And so that's an interesting dynamic that they have. But overall, the thing that I really wanted to talk about was, now, if any one of you have never watched a show called Twin Peaks, watch it. Fucking watch Twin Peaks. It is one of the greatest shows of all time. Easily in my top 5. It might be number one. Because it's like I'm reliving it and it's making me stand up. Man, this is so good. This show, Riverdale, I'm getting a slight Twin Peaks vibe. Of course, will it ever be as amazing as Twin Peaks? I doubt it, but the fact that I'm already trying to compare it to Twin Peaks speaks to the potential and the quality of Riverdale. because it starts out with a high school person oh, and of course, yeah, I'm sorry if I forgot to mention, but spoilers, because I'm reviewing an episode. I apologize for not saying giving you a spoiler warning at the beginning. But anyways, so it was in the trailers. So I guess it's not a spoiler, but the whole show starts with this guy, Cheryl's sister. His name, I am so sorry, I forgot what his name is, but the other the Blossom brother, he dies on the 4th of July, and they all think Jason are their last names Blossom? I think it's Blossom. I'm just gonna go with that. His name is Jason Blossom, and he dies, and there's a mystery surrounding his death. But then the thing that kind of fucked me up is Archie. He ends up working for his father's company. I might be wrong on this. I think Archie's dad might be played by Luke Perry. I'm still not 100% sure on that. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Anyways, so while Archie works for his dad's construction company, he ends up fucking the music teacher. That kind of creeped me out. I mean, I know we hear stories all the time about, and it really fucks me up, and it's still a little disturbing that students will have sex with teachers, and in high school, I mean, that is just no, that does not sit well with me. But I mean, I sincerely hope that it doesn't become okay, or it doesn't become accepted for high school students to be fucking high school teachers. It's just sickening. And when we find out about Archie fucking Miss Grundy, I think is her name, it was just... But then again, it is kind of weird, though, because even though these are supposed to be high school kids, they all look like... they all look about my age. They all look like people in their early 20s, and it's so funny how these are supposed to be sophomores when, of course, there's no fucking way in hell you're really actually sophomores. I don't buy it, but I'm gonna roll with it because I'm liking the show so far. So, yeah, but while they were fucking and they were in a relationship, it kind of reminds me of Bobby and Shelley in Twin Peaks, how the two of them are in a relationship, and Bobby's in high school in Twin Peaks, and this is in the first episode of Twin Peaks. It's not a spoiler, but Bobby is having sex with Bobby's in a relationship rather with Shelley, who she works at the diner. She looks about in her early 20s the character does, and the actress did in the show, and so that was going on. But even though the actors both look the same age, just like how Miss Grundy and Archie look about the same age. So, yeah. So it turns out, at the end of the episode, Jason has been shot, and they heard that bullet go off. They said, we have a secret to share, but it turns out at the end. But it's like the Twin Peaks vibes continues to be strong here, because not only did we find the body in the river, just like how at the end of the episode, the body's in the river, just like how, and of course, not a spoiler for Twin Peaks, this is in the synopsis of the show, you find Laura Palmer's body in the river. So yeah, that's all I've got to say. I'm sorry, my brain's all messed up. I'm stupid. I need help. You find... I was shocked because I said, this reminds me a tiny bit of Twin Peaks. Then I see it right there. It says starring Mad Chinamek. I think that's how you say her last name. And Mad Chinamek, played Shelley in Twin Peaks, and now I think this is her. I could be wrong, but it looks like she might be playing Betty's mom. So it's like, how funny. So yeah. And of course, I haven't seen her act in anything else other than Twin Peaks, and yeah, she seems to have aged okay. So yeah, from the few scenes she did have, I think she did a good job, and all the actors have done good jobs. So I'm gonna roll forward with the show. I liked it. I liked it enough that I'm gonna continue with it. I thought this series premiere was really strong. I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Yeah, it has strong potential. And I like how at first I thought, oh, there's going to be some more typical high school show bullshit, but it ends up not to be, because there's some deeper something there. You have to just keep digging for something deeper. And of course, it reminds me a bit of Twin Peaks, so that's why I gravitate towards it. So yeah, I'm going to keep on watching Riverdale. So, do you want me to continue reviewing Riverdale? Let me know in the comments below, and let me know if you watched it. What did you think of the pilot? So, yeah. So I will see you next time. Goodbye.